Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura. Over here, I share my lock journey with you. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate you and thank you so much for watching this content. If you've been on the community tab, you've probably seen that I've been asking a few questions about the type of content that you might want to see on the channel. Though I have a passion for so many different things, I want to make sure that this channel is worth watching for you. Not to my surprise, I found that most people who are on this channel are interested in hair content. So hair content it's going to be. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 3 ingredients that we need to look out for in the products that we use. Unfortunately, a lot of products marketed to women of color, specifically Black women, have dangerous ingredients in them. We know that beauty is really important for women in general. I guess I can say men. Men like to look good too. I feel like the industry has taken advantage of the fact that women have this desire to look good and are creating products that get the job done and produce results, but these products are also harmful and are jeopardizing our health. I can go through a laundry list of ingredients, but I don't want to bore anyone. We're going to start with 3 today, and then following this, I'm going to talk about the importance of plant-based products. If you're new around here, I have a product line called FAIDA Naturals where I offer plant-based hair care. I do want to say that I'm not making any claims on this video. This is just an informative video. Everyone has different perspectives. I'm not telling you not to do something. I also understand that when products are formulated, a lot of these ingredients are used for different reasons, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So it's not to tell you stay clear and don't use it at all. I myself personally have made it a personal practice just to be more mindful of the products that I'm putting in my body and on my hair. I'm a little picky when I go to the store and I purchase items, but I'm not perfect either. I do have stuff in my bathroom that might contain some of the ingredients that I'm going to talk to you about today. I actually bought wrap foam, a setting foam, because I want to see what it's going to do for my curl pattern when I try Bantu knots on my hair, but I think we should just dive right into the video. So why am I so passionate about this particular topic? It's important to know what you're putting on your hair. You should not have to jeopardize your health because of hair care. Our community can benefit from a lot of education. A lot of times this information is not readily out there. Now, in the last few years, we're seeing posts and we're seeing products marketing themselves as sulfate-free, paraben-free. So this tells us that there's something that existed before that shouldn't have. So my role on the internet, on the little corner of the internet, is just to make sure that we're thinking about the things that we're putting on our body. We're making mindful choices, mindful decisions, and we're able to be confident in whether it's our ability to care for our hair or our ability just to understand what it is that we're putting on our bodies. So the purpose of this video is not to bash, not to criticize. If ingredients exist in some of the products that you're using that'll be mentioned today, then it's just something for you to think about. And I also understand, as I mentioned before, when formulating products, a lot of these ingredients are used in the formulation process just to make sure that the product is what it is. You don't have to be as extreme as I am. I feel like I just talked a lot and I might have repeated myself too, but let's dive right in. So the first ingredient that I want to talk about is a sulfate. So what is a sulfate? Sulfates are made up of a group of minerals, and I should say a disclaimer, I am not a chemist. So a lot of the stuff is through years of research, just reading about different things, but I have a general understanding of some of these items. So a sulfate is made of a group of cleansing agents. So basically what a sulfate is, it's an ingredient that's meant to get things clean. So you will find sulfates in things like body washes, face washes, shampoos, detergents as well. And what this does is it attracts dirt and oil to it to make sure that whatever surface is being cleaned is actually getting clean. So if you were using a shampoo on your hair, you want something that's going to be able to get that hair completely clean. Now, sulfates do their job, but the problem is they work a little bit too well for a lot of ethnic hair types. Our hair doesn't naturally produce a lot of oil. Well, myself, if I don't put anything in my hair, let's say for a week or so, my scalp is going to get dry. I'm going to get flakes. I'm going to get some scalp irritation. Now, when you have textured hair, hair, because of the pattern of the hair, that moisture doesn't necessarily travel through the strand. So we oftentimes have to do things to help our hair to maintain that moisture. In many cases, sulfates end up over drying the hair and creating hair that is just brittle and breaks. And as we know, if hair is extremely dry, then it's brittle and it breaks and you're not able to retain length. Now, over the last few years, I would say a lot of shampoos are marketed as being sulfate free. They're meant to be a little bit more of the gentle cleanser, which is what we need. I always talk about a clarifying shampoo, and maybe I'll do a different video about what differentiates a clarifying shampoo from your regular shampoo. But something that you might want to keep in mind is if you're using a shampoo or a product that does contain a sulfate and or that does contain sulfates, and you're noticing that your hair is a little bit more on the dry end, or you're noticing that you're seeing a lot of breakage, then you might want to switch things up and see if those ingredients might be causing your breakage. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is formaldehyde. Now, formaldehyde is really only relevant to loose naturals. Formaldehyde is typically used in relaxers and any type of straightening product like keratin treatments. Again, this will be very pertinent to people who are loose naturals. But I guess I'm going to talk about it because some products might contain small amounts of formaldehyde that we use because it can act as a preservative. The International Agency for Research and Cancer, if I don't have that wrong, just deemed formaldehyde a carcinogen, which means that this is a cancer-causing agent. Now, we find formaldehyde in a lot of our relaxers that we used. Over the years, we've learned that there's a higher rate of breast cancers and fibroids, reproductive issues as a result of prolonged use of this particular ingredient in hair products. A lot of the hair products that we use do contain very minimal and small amounts of formaldehyde. Something else that I will note is formaldehyde too doesn't necessarily have to show up on your label. Sometimes it's hidden behind other ingredients. I'm going to list a few, but I highly recommend that you do the research and you learn about some of these ingredients. So these ingredients, what they do is they actually release formaldehyde. So they might show up on your product labels and you might not see formaldehyde directly. So some of the ingredients that I'm going to talk about are methylene, glycol, 3-dioxane, DMD-hydration. If I pronounce any of those wrong, then my apologies, but hopefully you get the point, and I'm sure you'll be able to recognize them as you look at them. Now, formaldehyde is also found in shampoos. It's really meant to extend the shelf life of a product. So in very minimal amounts, it might not be as harmful. However, what I always think about is a minimal amount over a prolonged period of time might end up being toxic. So sometimes when you notice that after using a particular product, you are noticing that your hair is itchy, you're noticing some redness, you're noticing that your hair is drier than normal, it actually could be that you're having a reaction to the ingredients that are in the particular product. Now, next we're going to talk about parabens. We hear a lot about paraben-free, paraben-free. Parabens basically are what's called xenoestrogens. Again, I really hope that I'm pronouncing these words correct, which means that they mimic the estrogen in our cells. Now, parabens are used to extend the shelf life of a product, but we found that they are very harmful. Over the last years, there have been studies that have been conducted that have shown a direct link between breast cancer and parabens in products. So you will find a lot of marketing that highlights paraben-free. Parabens actually can end up damaging your hair and can also cause hair loss. So you might find that your hair is thinning out, or over a period of time, you're just noticing that the overall health of your hair just isn't where it needs to be. It might be the ingredients, once again, that you are using, that are in the products that you're using. What I want to say is just because something says that it's paraben free doesn't mean that it's completely paraben free. What's happened in the industry in the last few years is that a lot of these ingredients that we're trying to avoid are hidden behind. So if you're reading your labels and you notice the following: methylparaben, propylparaben, ethylparaben, you might want to think twice about using that particular product. Now, you're probably wondering, wondering, if these products are so bad, why are we using them? Well, there are two things that I would have to say about this. Number one, over time, we've just learned more about the ingredients that we're using. And unfortunately, through people's lived experiences and through unfortunate circumstances, there have been a lot of studies that have shown direct link between the hair care industry and women of color and certain health illnesses. Actually, I think this should be considered a public health issue. If you've read the book, The Science of Black Hair, I think the author talks about how black hair care is a public health issue. The second piece is, when you're formulating a product, you want to make sure that when you're shipping it out or when it's staying in the shelves in the stores or wherever, it's not going to pick up mold, it's not going to grow any type of bacteria in it. So oftentimes, some of these ingredients that I've mentioned, including other ingredients, are meant to stabilize the shelf life of that particular product, which means that you're not going to buy a soap or a conditioner or something and find mold in it because it's not, the term is stable. This transitions me on. There is a solution to this, which is focusing on plant-based hair care. In the last few years, we've learned about natural ingredients and how they actually can be helpful for our hair and the overall health of our hair. Now, we can't completely avoid these ingredients because a lot of these ingredients are in makeup, are in skincare, a lot of the things that we use. So I'm not saying completely cut it off, which it might be possible to live a clean lifestyle, which is where I'm headed towards, or the goal that I have. However, it's good to be mindful. Maybe if you see two different shampoos and you notice one ingredient in one versus another, then you might be able to make a better informed choice. What plant-based products do for your hair? Number one is that they're not harmful and they're allergy-free. Now, with the exception of almond oil for those who are allergic to peanuts, and then sometimes some people just don't agree with certain oils, but overall you see less reactions when using natural products for the hair. It's safe, it's clean. Our skin is the largest organ in our body and it tends to absorb a lot of things. So something that I always think about is I want to be sure that whatever I'm placing, whether it's on my scalp or my full skin, is clean and is not going to be harmful in the long run. For those of us who have fragile hair, which actually textured hair is more fragile than we think it is. I think because we see that our hair is coarse and it's thicker, we think that it can undergo a lot of harsh treatments, whether it's intense heat, intense chemical use, or it needs those intense ingredients in order to get it to behave. I think changing the narrative and thinking about how sensitive and gentle our hair is will help us with the hair care. For example, if my hair is dry, it's gonna break. There's nothing I'm gonna do about it. If I brush it and it's dry, it's breaking. Learn to treat your hair in a gentle manner and understand that it needs gentle ingredients. Natural ingredients are very effective. Now, people usually don't feel like they're effective because they don't work overnight. It takes a period of time to start seeing changes, to start seeing improvements in using natural ingredients, but they work and they're very effective. If we think about a lot of the oils that are on the market, shameless plug, the aloe and avocado oil from FAIDA Naturals is really designed to keep your hair moisturized, and over a long period of time, you will start to notice length retention if you're using it well. And of course, implementing a healthy hair practice, you're not going to have as much shedding, and you'll notice that your hair is not as brittle, not breaking as much. If you have any scalp issues, things with dryness, you might start to notice a reduction in the dryness of the hair. Natural hair products support hair growth. We all want our hair to grow. Social media has given off this myth that a lot of these products are linked specifically to hair growth, but I want to give you a different perspective of how to think about this. So I've always used the example of the noodle. A wet noodle is going to be more springier and less likely to break versus a dry noodle. That's essentially what's going on with our hair. When we're putting ingredients in our hair that are maintaining the moisture of it, then we're not having as much breakage, as much shedding, then we're able to retain our hair, with the exception of some ingredients which can stimulate the roots of our hair, the hair follicles, which would support hair growth. The next thing that I want to talk about that's a plus for plant-based ingredients is they're environmentally friendly. This one, I think it really depends on the packaging. So a lot of the ingredients that are used in 100% plant-based ingredients are biodegradable. They're not as harmful for the environment, but packaging is also a thing too. Personally, as a beauty brand owner, I'm trying to transition towards packaging that's sustainable and can be reused, and people can use that as refillable, just so we're making more eco-cautious decisions when we're taking care of our hair. hair. I feel like that was a mouthful, but I think it's really important to understand why we use certain ingredients. And if you haven't checked out FAIDA Naturals, I'd highly encourage you to go on the website and look at our selection of different products that we have. They're really made with you in mind, without it sounding so cliche. But honestly speaking, this whole line came from my personal experience with hair care, specifically caring for 4C Afro hair. But I think if you have textured hair, it's more or less going to be the same. And I really wanted things that were clean and effective, which were two big values of mine. So thank you so much for watching. I want to know, what is something new that you learned while watching this video? What's something that you already knew, something that you didn't know? I'm interested to know. And how has this changed your perception of hair care? Well, thank you so much for watching. Consider liking this video if you found the information helpful. Subscribe to this channel if you're interested in more content like this. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video.